And here we are again. Time for another little book club meeting, little deciphering of the forbidden scriptures, if you would. I'm a couple days late, but that's because of work, and I get a real job besides wasting my life on video games that I like, or don't like in this case. More nonsense from the cheeseball himself, the shameless gorilla. I'm sure it's just stupid. It always is. Well, let's get into it. And I quote, once again, completely quoted. None of this came from me. As we communicate more, I feel sudden that misunderstandings seem to increase due to my lack of communication skills. I'm noticing a pattern here. This lack of communication skills is quite long. Quite long. There's a little bit of history to it. When does it, become invalid? Anyway, however, despite making mistakes, I created this channel with the intention of speaking more often and sharing my thoughts with all of you. So I'd like to take this opportunity to explain in detail what we are planning over the next month or so. As mentioned previously, we want to use the semi-wipe as a time to organize and streamline many of the things that have been developed so far. However, this is not about turning the game into something that merely reflects my own personal preferences, although you said it was. You said it was all part of your little vision. So where's this coming from? Taking back what you said now, huh? I believe that for this game to gradually grow its player base, the gameplay loop from the moment someone first starts playing must be smooth, minimizing any friction or discomfort players may feel along the way. How many streamers have you seen say that? How many? I've seen a few. Just a couple here and there. From that perspective, there are currently 3 key areas we believe are most important to address. Improving the experience for solo players, ding ding ding, strengthening the meaning and satisfaction of looting in the current setup, that you can't. And properly tuning the combat system so that players can always maintain a sense of hope for victory regardless of the situation. That won't happen. The problem lies in the fact that the approach we've been taking to achieve this has been too extreme. Wonder what made them realize that. Right now, everything is so entangled that trying to find the right balance feels like tuning a chimera, as I mentioned earlier. Sure did. That's why we want to first reset everything to a completely plain state, clearly define our direction and guiding principles, and then carefully and precisely introduce the elements that we have already or have developed. We no longer want to waste time in this area unnecessarily. Does that boggle anybody else's mind right there? We want to first reset everything to a plain state. We're on that, alright? Clearly define our direction and guiding principles, and then reintroduce the elements they have or have developed. In my mind, I, take it with a grain of salt here. This is opinionated. A little bit of bias, sprinkle. This just sounds like he wanted to reset the game to re-put in things that he already had. I mean, that's almost word for word. He's putting the game to 0, and then, so what? Next update, we're going to get our random modifiers back. The update after that, we're going to get solos back. Update after that, we're going to get gem socketing back. We're just going to go completely to where we were before he wiped everything. How many times is that loop going to happen? Anyway, and in that process, we want to accurately identify and address the things we haven't been able to verify or fully examine until now. We are fully committed to finding a solution that can satisfy solo players, aka solos. If the current matchmaking system, where various group types play together, cannot provide that satisfaction, then we will confidently bring back the solo queue. We're backpedaling now. What was the point of getting rid of solo queues if we're going to What just happened to Discord? Okay. Bloopers. Anyway, but what's the point of removing the solos if they're going to confidently bring them back when, not if, when they figure out that there's no way to solve that? What was the point of removing them then? To say we did it? Dipped our toe in the water there? In fact, we would then shift our focus towards fine-tuning dungeon balance and design specifically for solo play to make it more engaging and enjoyable. I don't even... Thanks, you know. People have been asking for this since Druid came out, to tune the game for solo play. Because you tune it for solo play, and then the rest falls in place. At least in my opinion. I'm not a game dev, but at least in my opinion. If solos are fun, 1v1s, then that would mean that 2v2s are fun, 3v3s are fun, 3v3s could be fun with one-on-one engagements, just having, having the classes balanced to where they're always equal on a 1v1, I feel fixes that stupid issue that he's created himself of making it to where, solos can't achieve greatness in trios. We also plan to enhance the sense of satisfaction in looting and to give the act of obtaining loot more meaning, aka bringing back the random modifiers. Whether that means reintroducing random modifiers or adapting the approach previously used for unique items in a new form, our goal is clear. To ensure that players can feel truly rewarded through loot within a structure that doesn't require adding more gear brackets beyond normal and high roller, yet still allows for meaningful gear progression and gaps. What did I say? We are going back in time. Whether that means reintroducing random modifiers. Yeah, so... Well... they didn't like this too much, so I guess we'll bring it back. Dude, they can't develop the game. This game had to have been stolen. They can't develop it. All it is take away and reintroduce. And everything that he's saying, it is take away and reintroduce. Everything. We're also working to build a combat foundation that allows for hope even in situations where a player is outnumbered. I want every player in a party, regardless of their gear or skill level, to have the potential to enjoy the game. That won't ever happen in any competitive game. You want to talk about how much you want this hardcore dungeon experience. That can't happen in a skill-expressed game. It never will. Never. That's how skill expression works. Then it would just be a PvE game. This doesn't simply mean ensuring balanced matchmaking between strangers, but creating situations where even if your friend is less skilled or undergeared, you still have a real chance to carry or clutch the fight, making the overall experience more hopeful, enjoyable, and positive for everyone. How can you force somebody, not force, but we'll say force the chance for somebody to clutch or carry the fight if they're not skilled? That's literally just giving it to them at that point. Because that's the whole thing with skill, is the skill lets you clutch the fight, not random luck chance. Unless we're going to go, Dungeons and Dragons style, and we're going to roll a die and see if, we roll a nat 20 and one-shot the guy that's coming after us. That doesn't make sense. However, if carrying or clutching is only theoretically possible, which it is, but rarely achievable in practice, then parties with weaker players will end up repeatedly failing, and that group will inevitably struggle to enjoy the game over time. That's how skill expression works. You get good. That's skill-based games. You look at any other skill-based game, and it's get good. To enable real moments of carry and clutch potential, I believe there must be tools or mechanics that allow players to reduce incoming damage to 0. Okay. Whether it's consistently creating 1v1 situations through map positioning, eliminating threats before taking hits, rogues, or using abilities like guarding to fully block damage, if only you'd fix it. These are the kind of mechanics that make such combat possible, and the only one that works is this one. That's it. Right now, the system might feel somewhat extreme, but I've confirmed that this kind of combat is indeed achievable, which is why I've said I'm somewhat satisfied with the current state. That doesn't mean it's perfect or finished, it simply means that we've reached a point where I see the potential to evolve this combat foundation in a way that aligns with the ideals I've been pursuing, while also creating an experience that players can enjoy and find meaningful and fair. Fair? Maybe. We might get there. Meaningful? Far from it. Far from it. After about 10 minutes, if it even takes that long, 10 minutes of playing Dark and Darker right now, you lose all meaning. There's no point in gathering loot, no point in killing bosses, really no point in killing players besides killing players. That's just the fun of it. But besides that, there's nothing there. There's nothing meaningful in the game. You can't. You're not doing it, dude. You ain't doing it. Oh, last little bit. We will do our utmost to successfully accomplish the task mentioned earlier with the remaining period. Additionally, we will strive to complete the promised content and new systems with high quality and deliver them to you accurately. That'll never happen. Never. We'll probably get a couple new torch skins first. I sincerely apologize to those who have experienced inconvenience due to my extreme approach to problem solving. Weird to put a dash there. Please understand that our ultimate goal is to create a comfortable and enjoyable environment for all players who love this game. And you didn't. You didn't. It's not happening. It's just not happening. In other words, we got another big, what is it, 4 paragraphs of we'll say like 6. 6 paragraphs of nothing burger. Again, you know, take a bite of that if you would. There's just, now we're just backpedaling. There's, oh, well, you know, when we can't do this, I guess we'll put it back to the way it was. If it'll bring you guys back, you know, you're so picky. I know what's best. Get out of here, dude.